Okay, good morning, everybody. This is going to be an easy week. We're going to do circumference and area, all right, but we're also going to add part of a circle to it, so you'll see. But this is going to be easy, and Wednesday is going to really be the same type of thing as this, so you'll see them kind of both go together, and then next week we'll practice and quiz on it's really one big lesson, but we're going to break it up here, okay? So yeah, so this video, and then the homework and the lesson. Oop, I should have the lesson. All right. Okay, so this says find the circumference of each circle. The circumference, guys, is the length around. All right, so if I were to have a flexible tape measure and draw around the circle, that's what I'm doing, okay? So the circumference formula is pi times diameter. All right, now, the first thing you got to think of is you're not always going to be given the diameter, okay? So this is the radius, okay? The diameter goes all the way across, okay? So the diameter is equal to 2 times the radius, okay? So if I get the radius, I got to double it. So 2 times 11, d equals 22, okay? All right, so now the formula is circumference equals pi times d, all right? So circumference equals pi times 22. Okay, now there's two ways to do this. You could do it you could leave your answer in terms of pi, which means you don't round it, you don't use a calculator, you just say 22 pi miles for this one. Okay, that's called in terms of pi, so you don't need a calculator. The other one is to actually put that in your calculator, 22 pi. All right, so 69.1, just round to 1/10. Okay. All right, so the diameter here is 12, okay? So 12 pi, 37.7. All right, now, here's why I give you both kinds. Sometimes you would be given the radius, sometimes you'd be given the diameter. You got to pay attention to which one. If they give you the diameter, this already is the diameter. So 14 pi, 43.98, okay? So 44.0, okay? I like 44.0 instead of 44. All right, 10 pi, 31.4 kilometers. Okay? All right, now you don't have to get a picture to do that, right? So the radius is 4, so you got to double it. So the diameter is 8. Okay? So 8 pi, 25.1 feet. Okay, now we're just talking about length, so it's not feet squared because it's not area, it's just length. All right, so 11, oh, that's the radius. So 11.3 times 2, all right, then times pi, 70.99, so 71.0 feet. Okay, now these, they give you the diameter, so 7.2 pi. In your calculator, you don't even have to hit times pi because the calculator understands that. Okay, so this should be very easy this week, the whole week actually. Okay, all right, now there's not a special formula to find the length from here to here. Okay, there's not a special formula, so we have to use the circumference. So we're going to use pi times diameter. Okay, but we don't want to find the whole circle. We only want to find part. Okay. So we only want to find 135 degrees out of 360 total, right? So we want to find a fraction of, okay? So you want 135 out of 360. All right, now let's think about how this fraction works. This is what you want on top, okay? And then on the bottom is the total. Okay, so how many degrees do you want over the total degrees equals how much length do we want, x, over the whole length. So the radius is 12, so the whole length is going to be 24 pi. Okay, now these ones are leave in terms of pi. Okay, so if you notice my answers, they don't have any decimals. Okay, so when you leave it in terms of pi, you always have a fraction. All right, the calculator will do that for you. Okay, it'll always be a fraction, and you don't use the pi button. Okay, so we're going to cross multiply. So 24 times 135 divided by 360, but leave the pi off. Okay, and then now because we're leaving the pi off, the pi will be part of the answer. So the answer is 9 pi. It's not just 9, it's 9 pi. The pi is part of the answer because we did not put the pi in the calculator. All right, so 24 times 135 divided by 360. All right, take a look at the calculator, right? Hit enter. Now, it's not a decimal, but if it was a decimal, I would change it, to a fraction with this button down next to the equal sign. All right, so 9 pi centimeters. So it's just like the top, okay? All right, 45 over 360 equals x over, now 4 is the radius, so 8 pi, okay? So 8 times 45 divided by 360, 1, okay? So the answer is 1 pi inches, or you could just say pi, all right? Now, for those of you who are on top of this stuff, okay, what you might realize sometimes is some of these fractions, like 45, is 1/8 of the circle, okay? So you could skip this part, 45 over 360, and say 1 over 8 equals x over 8 pi. And then you can see if the two bottom numbers are the same, then the two top numbers have to be the same. So that's where you get 1 pi, okay? All right, 150 over 360 equals x over 20 pi. All right, why did I make it 20? I doubled the radius. All right, now, again, with the calculator, you don't really care, all right, but I can't help but kind of show you some things. You could just simply, cut the zeros off of that side. 15 over 36 equals x over 20 pi, okay? So 20 times 15. Again, leave the pi off. Don't put the pi in the calculator. And then because of that, you're going to put the pi in the answer. Okay? All right, 8.333. I don't want that. So you're going to go fraction, and it'll just make it for you. 25 pi over 3 kilometers. Done. Okay? 285 over 360 equals x over 10. Okay? So 10 times 285 divided by 360, goofy fraction, change it to or goofy decimal, change it to a fraction, 95 pi over 12. All right? Now, you don't need a picture to do it. All right? So take that radius and make it a diameter. So 26 pi down here, x on top. Theta is 45, so that's the angle, 45 over 360. So 45 times 26 divided by 360. 3.25, but I want a fraction. 13 pi over 4 what? Miles. Okay. Radius is 11, so 22 pi. X, 90 degrees. Okay, if this was a picture, you would see 90 as like a quarter of the circle, 1/4. So you could just say 1/4, okay? I just want to show you that, all right? You're going to more likely catch that if it's a picture, okay? All right, but 90 over 360. All right, so 90 times 22 divided by 360, 5.5, change to a fraction, 11 pi over 2 yards. Okay, all right, guys, shoot me emails if you have any questions. All right, have a good Monday. Oh.